Randy, this is a little different, buddy.
We are.
A little different. It's Monday.
Yep.
I hope we're not confusing anybody.
What are we doing here on a Monday anyway?
Well, what we decided to do was that, we want to give people more. Isn't that what we talked about? Give more?
Absolutely. This is going to be fun. Teddy, we do that show, as folks know, every Wednesday, Lunch with Randy and Teddy. We always have a guest and all kinds of different topics, but most all revolve around job hunting and or professional development. How do you further yourself in your career? And so this Wednesday is no different, but what we thought we would do is come on each Monday, right around lunchtime or so, with maybe some insight as to what's coming on Wednesday, give some of our own tips, and try to help job hunters, and again, just kind of raise awareness of the show on Wednesday, because we've actually seen it take off pretty nicely. So what are we going to talk about today, Teddy? What's up?
Well, let's remind people that new folks haven't seen us. Who the heck are you and who the heck am I? And so those that don't know me, my name's right there on the screen. I think my name's right there on the screen. It's backwards. I'm Teddy, and Randy's the other guy. And I'm a LinkedIn strategist, but I'm also a career coach. And I love to help people figure out how to use LinkedIn in their business as well as in their career. And so tell the good folks who you are, buddy.
I work for Goodwill Industries of Northwest North Carolina. And again, I guess you can see the name down here on the screen, Randy Wooden. I run our professional center. So we help, as you might expect, people who perhaps have a college degree or maybe have owned a business, could be in a leadership role, salary job, that kind of a thing. Our services are free. And one of the things that I like about this show is it allows us on Wednesdays at noon to really engage with not just job hunters, but, and you hate to say it this way, but future job hunters. Because when you think about it, if you're not looking today, if you live long enough, you'll be in those shoes. And so I see it as a way to reach not just those that have the immediate need, but also to educate others who future needs will be there, and we'll be there to help them too. So again, glad to be with you. We have a guest on Wednesday named David Burden. He's an executive search consultant, and we're going to talk more detail about that. But Teddy, I thought we might get in a little bit today and talk about the recruiting business and understanding there's the staffing firm, the hourly, if you will, the contract positions, but then there's also executive search. I don't know whether you've engaged with those folks, but share some thoughts, I guess, on how you might find these guys. Because
yeah. Here's a couple ideas, Randy, and I'll go first. That way, you get some time to get your gray matter cranked up, so you can come up with a few ideas.
How long do we have?
It's Monday, dude. I know I'm pressing you here. Hey, look, here's a few ideas about recruiters. And as Randy said, there's all types of recruiters. There's contingent, and contingent recruiters are a different animal than retained search, and they're different than executive search. But we'll get into all that on Wednesday at noon Eastern Standard Time during our show there. But here's some thoughts about recruiters. Hey, they're good people. When you say so, Randy, they're good people.
Yeah, just like any industry, you're going to find ones that you gravitate toward and other ones you're sort of like, well, nice knowing you. But they're by and large, they're good people, but they are extremely busy. Keep that in mind.
Yeah. Hopefully, because they're working on finding all the slots they can find to put all the people they find into those slots. So one of the things that I, when I'm coaching recruiters or I'm coaching candidates, I remind us all that we don't all have to connect on LinkedIn. I mean, recruiters are going to, if they're doing their job right, they're going to meet thousands and thousands of new people every year on a regular basis, and they're going to meet them in a one-off. They're going to meet you, they're going to help you, and maybe they can't help you, and then they're going to move on. So don't feel obligated to send a recruiter an invite to connect on LinkedIn. There's no urgency there. Now, they may want you to do that. If they do, then maybe you'll accept it. But you don't have to connect with recruiters on LinkedIn because they're not necessarily going to want to connect. What you can do is find ways to engage with them, and maybe through an invite message they send you or an invite message you send them, you can engage. Maybe they have InMail, or maybe you have InMail and you can engage with them. Because once you start a conversation with someone on LinkedIn, again, through messaging or through InMail, you don't have to connect. So just don't feel obligated to send an invite to every recruiter that you engage with. they're not going to feel obligated to connect with every candidate they engage with on LinkedIn.
Hey,
Randy, you have a thought?
Yeah, let me ask you a question on that. So, so Teddy Burriss is a executive recruiter, and Teddy is also going to want, in my view, recruiters typically want to connect to as many people as is reasonable, so that when they have an opening and they conduct a search, they're conducting that search regardless of whether Randy knows the guy or not. But wouldn't it be nice if then they could reach out to me as a form of either an introduction or to kind of say, hey, is this John Doe person legit? So to take your point to the next level, if I don't wish to or shouldn't necessarily connect with them, how do I remember who they are?
Good point.
I don't remember who they are if I don't. And how could they reach out to me? Because they may have something and I could be a fit for it.
Yeah.
Wouldn't I want to at least let them know that I'm alive? And so maybe that's a circular argument, but any thoughts on that?
Well, it could be. I mean, and Randy, you know some recruiters that over the years who got to 30,000 connections,
Yep.
and then they ran into that wall. And then, then what do you do? Because you can only get 30,000 connections on LinkedIn, which is one of the reasons why I encourage recruiters not to connect with everyone. Now, they may want to connect for very purposeful reasons. If they see that you're active in the community, you're active in that industry, you're active in that role, and you've got a lot of connections in that industry and in that type of work, then they may want to connect with you because you become a conduit to other people. Yep. So there may be a reason to connect, but by default, I tell both sides not to connect just for the sake of connecting. But you're absolutely right. How do they stay aware of you? How do you stay aware of them? And you don't have to do that through LinkedIn content, but you can do that through LinkedIn engagement and email. Any other thoughts?
Well, you can, and also in your about section, if you list either an email address or a phone number to make it very easy for someone to contact you without having to send it in mail or without having to send a request. You run the risk of the whole privacy thing, and I get that. And also, if you're employed, then that also creates another issue too. But just to pivot a little, one of the main beefs I get is, hey, I never hear back from these guys. I send them my stuff, and what's up with that? And there could be a whole lot of reasons, but one of the main reasons is they don't have anything for you. I mean, they're salespeople, and okay, Teddy makes blue widgets, and Teddy wonders why the blue widgets, why is nobody buying my blue widget? Well, nobody wants blue widgets. That was so 2020, right? So
it went pink fish.
Exactly. Point being, they can't force. Their role is to fill openings for their client companies, and when the client company asks for this, and this, the recruiter's task is to go out and find that shopping list. And if you're not close enough on that list, then sorry, you may be a nice guy, but they don't have anything for you. It could also be that you've interviewed and you're waiting to hear back, but the recruiter's the middleman in this case. And unless or until they hear from the client company in terms of, hey, is Teddy in or out or whatever, they don't have anything for you. Now, should they call you and let you know they don't have anything? You could argue that would be the nice and professional thing to do. And I would agree with that. By the same token, how many of these calls are they going to want to make to people like you to tell you, I don't know anything?
Yeah.
That pulls them away from some of the things that they're otherwise working on. And there's another reason, and this is a dirty little secret, but it happens. Teddy is the number 2 candidate for the position.
Good. Getting close.
But we would hire Teddy, but we really like John Doe over here. And the recruiter now has to keep Teddy warm, okay? He can't say, Teddy, you're second in line here, buddy. We got to wait and see if our top choice takes the job or not. I mean, what kind of conversation is that?
Yeah.
And so we need to kind of be evasive or whatever you want to call it and say, hey, I just don't know anything. We've got to keep you on the back burner until we find out about the top candidate. Yeah. So those are some reasons. Teddy, are we about ready to talk about
here? I think I'm going to, we'll talk about the show, but here's another thing that just came to mind. It is all about relationship. that recruiter will care about you more if you're working to develop a relationship with them. And one of the things that I tell candidates on a regular basis, if you want a recruiter to care about you more, do something to help them.
Yep.
If they have a position where they're looking for the blue widget guy, and you're not a blue widget guy, but you know a blue widget guy, let's make it in real words. If he's looking for a project manager and you're not a project manager, but you know some project managers, introduce your recruiter friend, whether he's a retained, a contingent, or executive recruiter. Introduce him to your project management friends so they can have a conversation. Yes, sir.
Yeah, and Teddy, it's all about relationship, and my thoughts have changed over the years on this. For what it's worth. And, I started my career moving into the HR side of things as an executive recruiter. And this was, again, before email and everything else. So we were very meticulous in, we're salespeople, we're human, but we have certain criteria that we have to meet. And what I think has changed a bit is that, especially now that you've got all of the artificial intelligence, you've got parsing for words on resumes and applications, that unfortunately too many recruiters have, what I say, has become lazy. And they've relied solely on a matching game of words.
Yeah.
I think too many have done that to their detriment, because there are a lot of very, very good people who maybe not enough of the right words match, but they have a great story. There is great value there. And so part of the challenge becomes with recruiters is to get to know them, and they get to know you, because now you're more front of mind with them. You've developed a relationship. They're not simply robots looking for 10 keywords, and if you have 8 of them, boom, we'll call you. Because you know what? And I've had this, and I'm sure you've had it happen, where you've contacted a recruiter when your client has said, hey, I applied at this position, and the recruiter says, well, okay, great. I'll pull them out and see what they look like. They may not have been pulled out of the stack if it weren't for your phone call. So much of this is relationship building. And so we're going to dive more into that. I guess we're ready to David Burden is an executive search consultant, executive recruiter. They recruit in a number of different industries, but the roles that they recruit are typically at the senior level within organizations. And recruiters recruit both low level, mid level, upper level. They might be an independent search firm like his. They might be an in-house recruiter. So what David's going to do is try to give you a good landscape view of the differences between what I'll call your typical local staffing firms and those folks who recruit almost exclusively at the very high level within organizations. What does their process look like? How does it differ maybe from other firms? How do you find these kind of guys out there? How do you find them? How do you develop relationships with them? All that, and it's not that it's any big secret, but I think it helps job hunters to understand what goes on the other side of the desk. And here's a case where David has been in the business. He knows what he's talking about, and he'll share his thoughts this coming Wednesday. So, Teddy, the time.
I'm going to drop the URL in the comments. I can't do it right yet, but I'll drop it in the comments that after we go live. So yeah, join us. I mean, we have a lot of fun. We bring in really fun, smart, intelligent people to bring ideas, and our goal is to help you find the nuggets, the ideas that can help you be more successful in your career transition or your job search. So,
Teddy, check this out. This is high tech right here, buddy.
What are you taking a picture of me?
Taking a picture of the screen. How's that? Yeah. Does that date me? Anyway.
Well, you didn't whip out your chalkboard.
The day is young. Hey, folks, it's free. The show, we do it every Wednesday. We've got our anniversary show coming up April 7th, so we want to make sure that you're dialed in for that. But yeah, always feel free to join us. We'll get the word out on how to register. It's totally free. And Teddy, I don't know if you can put it in the chat box or in
waka.
Afterward.
I just dropped it in there, buddy.
We'll go ahead and do that. And we'll see everybody at noon Wednesday for lunch with Randy and Teddy.
Cool. All right, buddy. Go off and make some people happy, and we'll talk another day.
I will, sir. Try. Thank you.
See you later on. Bye.